Alright guys, it seems like we have just got the roadmap update of May edition, which is basically a roadmap but way more detailed than the usual roadmap we are basically used to see coming from Gameloft. So today I will be having a look into all the new information in regards to the upcoming updates arriving to Asphalt Legends Unite through this year 2025 or the rest of the year, because we are basically starting the second half of the year. So it seems like Gameloft has finally given us more details in regards to all the new features and the new tracks and everything like that. So let's scroll and have a look into all the new details this roadmap update has to bring to us. On May, we are basically getting a Nitro catch-up mode, which is basically a game mode where the nitro you get from bottles and all the stuff basically decreases the longer you progress through a race. So let's say that at the beginning of the race you get the usual amount of nitro for nitro bottles, drifting and that stuff, and the more you race into the track and that stuff, and the closer you get into the end of the race, basically the less nitro you can get from every single stunt, drift, or whatever you do. So it's quite interesting from my side. I mean, it's not like the nitro intoxication mode we got a couple of years ago. So it's different, and I still feel like this will be a quite interesting game mode. So either way, let's jump into the next big thing coming this May. Okay, so second on this May update, we will be getting multiplayer bots, which is a quite nice feature, specifically for beginners, since it's not great to face extremely skilled players right as you are starting a race as a newcomer on this game. So I do really think that introducing bots into the lower multiplayer ranks will be something quite interesting, especially for newcomers, because let's remember that specifically on multiplayer 2, there are people who push up on the ranks using lower cars, so maybe this is like an advantage for those players who are using intentionally lower ranks in order to push further into the leaderboards. Later down the road in this May update, we will get a new feature within the game shop, which will be Build Your Own Bundle, which is something quite similar to what we have got on Asphalt 8 Airborne, which is basically an option to pick a specific car blueprints, I think, a few tokens, a few crates, and at the end you will be able to pay for what you have picked. But it's not as nice as you think it is, because at least on Asphalt 8 there were a very specific pool of cars from which you could pick your blueprints and that stuff, and it wasn't that big of a deal because at the end of the day you were paying a bit more than you should for all the things you picked. So I do really think that if this is implemented the exact same way it was on Asphalt 8 Airborne, we will have to see how good the bundles end up being, because this will be basically oriented to those players who are interested on spending money within the game, and for those who are free-to-play players, this won't be that big of a deal. Then we will have what it's called a collector's mode special event, which is like a spotlight but with specific stages and that stuff. I don't know, because I have never experienced something like this, at least not on Asphalt Legends Unite. I mean, I think that they have something similar on Asphalt 9 China, but I am not sure if this will be implemented the same way. So the next big thing from this May update, which will be basically coming the next update more or less, it's the Spotlight Pass. Because this time I think that the Spotlight was way too generous for everyone, so Gameloft has just decided to introduce another pass within the game. After the Overclock Pass, this is like the 5th or 6th pass that Gameloft introduces into the game. And it's basically a pass that will allow you to get more rewards, as well as Spotlight currency, blueprints, and I guess that special advantages on the Spotlight shop and that stuff for those willing to pay, so they can get more blueprints from the shop and that stuff. I don't think this is something necessarily bad, for as long as the Spotlight event remains the same it was for this last Koenigsegg Agera RS Spotlight, but honestly guys, I do really think that it will mean that for those free-to-play players, the Spotlight event will be slightly worse, because it might mean that the base event is slightly worse than, you know, the usual event and that stuff. But let's just continue with the roadmap, because on July we will basically get an Unite Pass overhaul, which will mean that we will get something similar to the Legends Pass we have on Asphalt 9 China, with more rewards, more tier, and more bonuses and that stuff. But this is once again something quite nice for those willing to spend money within Asphalt Legends Unite. So I guess that for most of you guys who are free-to-play players, this won't be as interesting. We will be also getting a blind pick stock within the game shop, which is basically a bunch of items, random items, like could be blueprints, could be tokens, could be, I don't know, whatever, maybe even overclock chips or something like that, which is basically something random. It's a stock of item which will be made available in the shop, but with a twist. Although you know which items are available, you won't be able to see which item is which. But let's remember that everything I have just mentioned will come on July, so there is plenty of time to speculate about it. Also, now that we are talking about items and that stuff, I have great news for all of you guys who are looking to gold max more cars, because on the game shop there will be more epic import parts available for you to purchase with trade coins, I assume, because I don't expect to find the epic import parts I lack of as for now, because are from very special cars like the Lexus V, for example, which lacks 2 epics in my case. But I don't really think that this is basically an adjustment for those who are looking to grade more cars from the Legends store and that stuff. And I don't personally think that it will help those who are with a really huge garage at this point, so that's really it basically. Then it seems like we will have a Vanity update 1, which is basically a few adjustments in regards to the UI and that stuff, the game interface, and that's basically it. I mean, cosmetics and vanity options for our garages, which I guess it could be something like they have on Asphalt Legends China, where they get to pick which kind of garage style they have. I mean, let's remember that on Asphalt Legends China they have garage skins. So if you win a skin, you can change the way your garage looks, and that's quite cool, I guess. But we still have to wait and see where this leads us to. We can expect some multiplayer changes in the future, but nothing huge on the month of July, so that will be basically on the July update. We will be getting the 20th anniversary track, which is the start of the Gameloft's anniversary event, where we will be traveling through different tracks from previous Asphalt 8 games and that stuff. So I think that this track could be like a mix from different tracks coming from different games, like from Asphalt 8, Asphalt 7, and so on. And I don't know, I think it could be quite interesting, but we will have still to wait. Either way, we should not worry, because they will have a track reveal at some point in the future, so that will mean that we will get a chance to see the track with our own eyes on the Asphalt channel or something like that. In October, huge things are coming to the game, guys, because we will be getting dynamic rank cards. That's it. Just like Gameloft said, we will be able to customize our own cards as we rank them up. And I think this is similar to the elite system that used to exist on Asphalt 8 many years ago, where we used to be able to pick a specific stat to boost from our cards, which I think it's quite cool. But at the same time, I'm quite worried, because that means that a new car, a newly released car, will be the first one with this specific dynamic rank thing. So I don't know how good this will be for those who are free-to-play players, as well as for those who are willing to pay, like I am, for example. I would be willing to pay if this entire dynamic rank thing could be something interesting and that stuff. But I guess that we will have to wait, because let's remember that all what I have just said is coming this October, and there is plenty of time until that date. So yeah, we will have to wait and see, I guess. In October, we will be getting the roguelike mode as well, which is something they mentioned on the previous roadmap, as they just said here. And well, the team is still working, so I don't think we will be getting many more details until further into this year. It seems like in October we will be getting some smaller multiplayer changes and some changes on the garage UI as well. But now is where the huge things are coming, and I am talking about the entire update which will be coming this month of December 2025, where we will be able to get the brand new tournament mode, which will be something like a competitive mode where the best players will get the chance to measure who is the most skilled and stuff. It's yet to be determined how the garage will influence this, because let's remember that at the end of the day, the cards you have are quite decisive in terms to decide who wins and who loses on a specific race. I mean, this could be free try or something like that, and it will be 100% skill based, but still we have to wait and see, because as I said many times on this video already, there is a ton of time left until the month of December, so there are a ton of things that could happen. Gameloft could literally scrap altogether this entire tournament mode by then, so we will still have to wait and see. But it seems like this one is quite developed so far, so I have quite hopes as well in regards to this. On Team Pursuit, we can expect some improvements on the card pools, the rewards maybe, the leagues and that stuff. And believe it or not, guys, but it seems like this year we will be getting 2 tracks, and this time it will be like a track on its own, because the first track that we will be getting this year will be an anniversary based track, which will be made by similar sections of different tracks or something like that. I have no clue so far, but it seems like this new track coming on December will be a name on its own and a specific location, something completely new, something like Chicago, Greenland, or whatever. So I am quite excited in regards to this brand new track, but it's way too early. And we don't even know how the new track, which is coming on July, will look like. So as I said, it's still way too early to tell. Also, this month of December, we will be getting the second Vanity update, as adjusting more details and graphics and that stuff. Also, on this month of December, it's coming the mastery system, which is directly coming from Asphalt 9 China. And this one could be quite interesting if they end up adding a quite interesting main mastery car, because on Asphalt 9 China, let's remember that they have the Bugatti Chiron Super Sport 300 Plus, which is way better on that version, but that's another topic. The thing is that once that you complete the entire mastery thing, you get to unlock a very special car over there, and I would be excited to be able to unlock something quite special from that mastery system coming to Asphalt Legends Unite, so we will have to wait and see. The mastery system, it's basically a way to reward those who have the best garages of the entire game, because the more cars you have, the more rewards you can collect. I mean, it can be helpful for those who are free to play as well, but it's not the same, you know. I mean, if I have basically all the cars, as it's my case, I will be far more rewarded than someone who has just begun on the game and that stuff. So it literally depends on how good your account actually is. Also, by this time of the year, by December, Gameloft will be reviewing the dynamic rank cars and that stuff. So I think that by this point, Gameloft will review the cars and decide if it's a feature they should continue, or a feature they should change, or a feature they should adjust and that stuff. So that's basically it. I mean, this is the entire roadmap. At the end of the roadmap, they are recommending us to hit to the official Discord server so we can ask Escopeta, which is the main developer. It's like the main boss of Asphalt Legends Unite right now. But now it's your time to let me know your thoughts in regard to this entire roadmap. I personally think it's quite insane, the sheer amount of features and new things that are coming to Asphalt Legends Unite. I have some insights in regards to the new cars and that stuff, but I can't tell anything so far. And let's remember that on this weekend we will have the patch notes, and I will be making a video about them as well. So make sure to subscribe and drop your massive like in order to not to miss any single details about Asphalt 9 Legends and all the things that are coming to the game. Make sure to drop your like, just as I said, and let me know your thoughts in the comment section, and I will see you soon with much more Asphalt content. Goodbye, guys.